Hello students, welcome back to our class. So in today's class we are going to enter into the new chapter, that is chapter 2, basic algebra. Okay, so now let us see the chapter. So first they have given some introduction about algebra. So algebra is a branch of mathematics in which one expresses relations among quantities by using symbols to represent these quantities. That is, we are going to relation among the quantities. These quantities are represented by the symbols. Okay, so here mainly we are going to see about the real number system. Okay, real number system. What is the real numbers? Real number system. So before seeing the real number system, what are the real number systems consisting of? First, rational numbers. Rational numbers. Okay, rational numbers. See, what is n? This is said to be the natural numbers. Okay, n is said to be the natural numbers. Natural numbers are n is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. It goes on like this till infinity. Okay, so this for counting some elements, for counting purpose, they have introduced the numbers called natural numbers. Okay, see with this we cannot find the loss or depth of some quantity, right? So for finding the loss and quantity, the negative of this has been introduced. It is said to be the z, that is integers. Z is integers. Z is integers. So this is consisting of minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. That is the negative term. It consists of 0, the natural terms, and the negative terms of the natural terms also. So this is said to be the integers. Okay, see, we already know whole numbers, right? W is represented as whole numbers. W is represented as whole numbers, represented for whole numbers. Okay, what is the difference between whole numbers and natural numbers? So only one difference is the number 0. When the number 0 is added to the natural numbers, then we can say that's it as the whole numbers, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. It goes on like this. This is said to be the whole numbers. That is, the only difference between the whole number and the natural number is, in the natural number the number 0 is added to form the whole number, and this is said to be the integers. Okay, again they arrived at one term called rational numbers. Rational numbers. In your book they are given an example. If we are having one cake, there is a cake, we have to split this into 5 equal parts. Okay, we have to split this into 5 equal parts. Like this, you have to split this into 5 equal parts. So if, for finding that, see here, there is one cake and we have to split it into 5 parts. Okay, 5, and that is x is equal to 1 divided by 5. This type of numbers is said to be the rational numbers. That is, it is denoted by q. It will be in the format of m and n. M divided by n. M and n may be integers. M and n are integers. Okay, the thing is, the only one common divisor for both m and n is only 1. We don't have any other common divisors other than 1, then we can say that number is the rational numbers. So these all numbers are consisting in the real numbers. Okay, see, a natural numbers, whole numbers, or integer numbers, these all numbers will be in the rational number, and the rational number and the irrational number wholly joined to form the real number system. Okay, so see, we have seen rational numbers, right? See, in your book they have given some an example. See here, minus 5. This is the rational number. No ma'am, this is an integer, right? But see here, this can be written as minus 5 divided by 1, right? 1 is an integer and minus 5 is also an integer. Then we can say this is a rational number. Why we are saying this is a rational number? See here, we have only one common divisor for both these numbers. 1. 1 is the only one common divisor for these numbers. Okay, then we can say this is a rational number. Some other examples: 0, 22 divided by 7. Okay, 12, 7, minus 7 divided by, these are the examples they have given in your book for rational numbers. Okay. Next they have in your book they have given about number line. Number line. How we are going to represent the number line? So number line is only the horizontal line. It has its origin at 0. So what's the origin of the number line? The origin of the number line is 0. In the right hand side it moves on till infinity, and in the left hand side it moves on till minus infinity. Okay. So in the left hand side we will be marking my negative terms, and in the right hand side we will be marking the positive terms. Okay. So this is 0, and the next one is 1, and the next one is 2. See this term, this distance is said to be unit, 1 unit. Okay, it may be of 1 centimeter according to our problem. Okay, it may be of 1 centimeter, 1 meter, 1 millimeter. It may be that unit may be differing, but it is said to be 1 unit. 1 unit means the same distance will be preferred in all the elements. See, and the before element of 0 is minus 1. It goes on like this: minus 2, minus 3, minus go. It goes on till infinity, and here to 3, 4, 5. It goes on till infinity. But the only thing is the numbers are placed at a unit distance. Okay, unit distance, at the same distance from one element to another element. This is said to be the number line. Okay, now we can find the two different, if we take two elements, we can find the middle elements from the, see here, if we take two elements x and y, if x is less than y, we can find the middle element from x and y. How can we find that? Is using this: x is less than x plus y divided by 2 less than y. So this gives the middle element. Now let us take two elements, 1, 3. Okay, this is x and this is y. See here, 1 is less than 3. Okay, 1 is less than x plus y divided by 2, that is 1 plus 3 divided by 2 less than 3. Solve this. 1 less than 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Am I right? We got the middle term. See, we took 1 and 3, we got the middle term 2. Okay, this is how we can find the middle term from in the number line. Now let us see the irrational numbers. The numbers which are not rational is said to be the irrational numbers. That is, the definition is just this: the number which are not rational is said to be the irrational numbers. Okay. Irrational numbers. In your book they have given an theorem for this, right? So theorem 2.1. What's the theorem? Root 2 is not a rational number. Root 2 is not a rational number. Okay, we are going to say root 2 is not a rational number. That's not a rational number, is root 2 is an irrational number. We are going to prove this. Okay, now let us take root 2 is a rational number. Let us consider this. Okay, root 2 is a rational number. We know that rational number will be in the form of m divided by n, right? Root 2 will be equal to m divided by n, where the only common factor of m and n is 1. You have to write that the only common factor of m and n is 1. Okay. Now squaring on both sides, because we are having square root here, squaring on both sides, what happened? 2 will be equal to m square divided by n square, which gives m square will be equal to 2 into n square. Taking this 2 square, this n square this side, we get m square is equal to 2 into n square, right? See here, m square is the multiplication of 2 into some element. Okay, see, if you multiply 2 into some other elements, or like 3, we get an even element, right? Okay, so this is even. This is even means m square is even. Okay, you have to write, since m square is the multiplication of 2 and n square, m square is even. Okay, m square is even. Then we can write, if it is even, m square can be written as 2 into k. Right, even means some element is multiplied by 2. Okay, 2 into k. Substitute here, instead of m square, substitute 2k. 2k is equal to 2 into n squared. Sorry, we can take m is equal to 2k. Since m square is even, m will be also even, therefore we are taking m is equal to 2k. Therefore what happened? M square means 2k the whole square, right? 2k the whole square means 4 into k square is equal to 2 into n square. Cut this 2 and here 2. What's the remaining? So what are the remaining elements? We have 2 into k square is equal to n square. From this what we can get? We get that n is also an even element. Because we get n square is equal to multiplication of 2 into some other element. Therefore what we get? We get n is also even element. Therefore see here, from first we took m and n, it is having only one common factor, that is 1. But now we get m and n are even. If both are even, we can get, if both is even, will be the common factor, right? If we take two even elements, see 4 and 6. For this what are the factors? 1, 2, 4. For this 1, 2, 3, 6. So the common factors are 1 and 2. That is we have two common factors, right? That is 1 and 2 will be the common factor for two even elements. Therefore we have another one element as common factor, but if the rational number should have only one common factor, therefore we are arriving at a contradiction, that is root 2 is not a rational number. Root 2 is not a rational number. Okay, root 2 is not a rational number. With this we are completing this theorem. Okay, now let us see the next thing. Okay, so see 2.2.4, that is they have given some properties, right? They have given some properties of real numbers. Okay, see here, for any a comma b belongs to, they are taking two elements a and b. Okay, if a and b belongs to R, then a plus b also belongs to the real numbers and a into b also belongs to the real numbers. See the next one, for they are taking three elements a, b and c from R, then a plus b plus c will be equal to a plus b plus c. This is associative property, right? Okay, then also multiplication also, a into b into c will be equal to a into bc. Okay, the next one, identity. If a belongs to R means, then a plus 0 will be equal to a. This is for addition, and for multiplication a into 1 will be equal to a, where 0 is the additive identity and 1 is the multiplicative identity. Okay, now the inverse. If a belongs to R, a plus minus a will be equal to 0. This is the identity for addition, right? We have to add some element with a to get the additive identity. What is the element? Minus a. Similarly, a into 1 by a is equal to 1. This is the multiplicative identity. We have to multiply some element with a to get the multiplicative identity, that is a into 1 by a is equal to 1. Okay, this is the additive inverse, this is the multiplicative inverse. Now the fifth one, see here, if a and b belongs to real numbers, then a plus b will be equal to b plus a. Similarly, ab will be equal to b. This is the commutative property. Okay, now the distributive law, that is if a, b and c belongs to R means a into b plus c will be equal to ab plus ac. Then the seventh one, see if a is less than b, then b minus a is greater than 0. See here, take this a this side, it becomes b minus a. B minus a is greater than 0. Okay, similarly 8th one, if a belongs to R, a square is greater than or equal to 0. That is always we know that square will be greater than or equal to 0. Similarly, they have given some properties, just go through it, will be asked for your 1 marks. Okay. Now, let us enter into the exercise. Okay, what's the first exercise? It's exercise 2.1. Exercise 2.1. Okay, see what's the first question? Classify each element in this set. They have given some elements as a member of natural numbers. Q is rational numbers. R minus Q. What is R minus Q? R is real numbers minus Q is rational numbers. When we neglect rational numbers from the real numbers, we arrive at the irrational numbers. That's what they have given in the terms R minus Q. R minus Q is the rational numbers or Z. Z is the integers. So let us see what are the elements they have given. Root 7. What's the number is this? Root 7. We know that root 2 is an irrational number. We have seen that. So root is an irrational number. So what's irrational number? It is represented like this, R minus Q. The next term, minus 1 divided by 4. See, we have the common factor only 1. This is here we have 1, here too we have 1. Only common factor is only 1. Therefore, this is the rational number. Next term, 0, 3.14, 22 divided by 7. Okay, see 0. What's 0? How can we say this 0? See, in your book they have given natural numbers, rational numbers, R minus Q. R minus Q is irrational numbers and only integers. Okay, see if they have given W, we can say this is a whole number. It will be in a whole number. But see here, what number is this? This is not rational, natural number. This is not irrational number. But we can say this is what number? We can say this is rational number, 0 divided by 1. Okay, we can say this is rational number and it is an integer, right? 0 is an integer, therefore we are taking it as an integer. Okay, see here 3.14. This can be written as 314 divided by 100, right? We know this, 314 divided by 100. So this can be rational number. Okay, see you have to cut this by 2, 50, 1, 5, 2 like this. You have to cut this, then you will arrive at some rational number. Okay, so this is the rational number. And 4, what is 4? 4 is an integer. 4 is an integer and 22 by 7, this is an rational number. Okay, clear? Now the second sum. What's the second sum? Prove that root 3 is an irrational number. So in the example we have proved root 2 is an irrational number, right? Similarly they have given root 3 is an irrational number. So this is the assignment for you. Second sum is the assignment for you. What you have to prove? First let us take root 3 as an rational number. Then rational number means m divided by n. Therefore, root 3 is equal to m divided by n. It must have only one common divisor, that is 1. Okay. And again what you have to do? We have to square on both sides. Then we get m square will be equal to 3 into n square. 3 into n square. Similarly as we have done in the problem in example. Okay. So, this is the assignment for you. And next sum. Third sum, okay. What's the third sum? Are there two distinct irrational numbers such that their difference is a rational number? So, we have to find two distinct means two different irrational number where their difference, when we find the difference of those two irrational numbers, we should arrive at a rational number. Is this possible? Yes, the given thing is possible and they have given asked us to justify. Okay. Now, let us take two irrational numbers. 2 plus root 3 and 4 plus root 3. This is an irrational number and this is an irrational number, right? We have to find the difference. See here, 4 plus root 3 minus of 2 plus root 3. Okay. Now, multiply this minus inside, what happens? 4 plus root 3 minus 2 minus root 3. See here, plus root 3 and minus root 3 gets cancelled. 4 minus 2 is 2. What is this? This is a rational number, right? 2 can be written as 2 divided by 1. Therefore, this is a rational number. Therefore, when finding the difference between two rational numbers, we can find the rational number. So, this we can take, we can take some other elements too. 2 plus root 5, 1 plus root 5. If we take the difference will be 1. Okay. So, I have given an example for this. Now, the fourth sum. Find two irrational numbers such that their sum is a rational number. Here we have find two irrational numbers such that their difference is a rational number. In this sum we are going to find two irrational numbers for which their sum should be a rational number. Can you find two irrational numbers whose product is a rational number? First let us see the first thing, that is we have to find two irrational numbers. When we add that both we should arrive at a rational number. Okay. Now shall we take the elements? See here, 1 minus root 2 and 2 plus root 2. Okay. Well, shall we add this? 1 minus root 2 plus 2 plus root 2. What happened? This and this gets cancelled. The answer is 3. Okay. Therefore, we have found two irrational numbers. When we add that both irrational numbers, we will be arriving at a rational number. 3 is a rational number, right? 3 divided by 1. 3 is a rational number. Now, we have to find two irrational numbers. When we multiply that both, we should get a rational number. Okay. So, now let us take the two irrational numbers as root 3 minus 2 and root 3 plus 2. These two are two irrational numbers, right? So, we have to multiply this. Shall we multiply this? So, when multiplying root 3 minus 2 into root 3 plus 2, what happens? This is in the format of a minus b into a plus b. What is the formula? A square minus b square. This is equal to what is root 3 square? Root 3 square is 3. 3 minus 2 square is 4. That is equal to minus 1. That is we are arriving at a rational number. Minus 1 divided by 1. This is a rational number, right? Therefore, we have found the two irrational numbers for sums, also two irrational numbers for product also. Okay. Not only these elements, we can take some other elements also. Okay. Now, the fifth sum. Fifth sum. What's the question they have given? Find a positive number smaller than 1 divided by 2 power 1000. Okay. We have to find a smaller number than this. First, now let us simplify this. This can be written as 1 divided by 2 the whole power 1000. Right? 1 power 1000 is 1. 1 power 1000 is 1. Therefore, we can write this 1 by 2 the whole power 1000. This can be written as what is 1 by 2? 1 by 2 is 0.5. Already it is a small element. Okay, already it is a small element. So, this can be written as 0.5 the whole power 1000. Already this is a small element. So, what happens when this number increases, this element becomes smaller. Okay. So, what happens is, what is the smallest element after this? 1001, right? The smallest element after this is 1001 and the smallest element after this is 0.5 the whole power 1002. Like this it goes on. When the number increases in the power, the whole number becomes smallest. Therefore, this can be written as 1 by 2 the whole power 1001. Right? This can, because this can be written 1 by 2 the whole power 1001. So, 1 power 1001 is equal to 1. That is 1 divided by 2 power 1001. This is the answer. Okay. With this we are completing this exercise. Now, let us move on to the subdivision 2.3, that is absolute values. Absolute values. Okay. Now, we are going to see what is absolute values. See here they have given a definition. The distance of a number a belongs to R from 0 on the number line is called as the absolute value of the number a and is denoted by modulus of a. This is said to be the modulus of a. this symbol is modulus, okay, modulus of A. So modulus of A is used to represent the absolute value. Absolute value means A will be the element from R, okay. So what's the absolute value means if this is the origin 0, if this is the element A, the distance between the element A and the origin O is said to be the absolute value, and they have given that in notation in your book. See here, modulus of x will be equal to x if x is greater than or equal to 0 or minus x if x is less than 0. Okay, this is the notation for absolute values. The modulus of x will take the value x alone if the x is greater than or equal to 0. Otherwise, we take the value minus x if x is less than 0. Okay, now see here, now let us see the examples, then you can easily understand this. See example 2.1. Example 2.1. So solve for 2x minus 17 which is equal to 3. Okay, see here they have given 3 here. Therefore, when we take the modulus 2x minus 17, we don't know whether it is plus or 3. Minus, plus 3 or minus 3, because we don't know the value of x. If the x value is greater than or equal to 0, it takes the value 3. If the x value is less than 0, it takes the value minus 3. Okay, therefore, we are commonly taking plus or minus 3 and removing the absolute value. 2x minus 17 is equal to plus or minus 3. Therefore, 2x is equal to, when this minus 17 goes to the right hand side, it becomes plus 17. 17 plus or minus 3 divided by 2. This 2 comes here. Therefore, x is equal to 17 plus or minus 3 divided by 2, which is equal to, what is 17 plus 3? 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Okay. Or what is 17 minus 3? 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Therefore, x is equal to 10 or x is equal to 7. It may take values depending upon the value of x. Okay. And again, example 2.2. What's the question? Solve 3 into modulus of x minus 2 plus 7 is equal to 19. Okay. See here, before removing the modulus, the elements outside the modulus, we can first solve that. Okay. Let us take 3 into modulus x minus 2 this side. When this plus 7 goes this side, it becomes minus 7. 19 minus 7 is 12. 19 minus 7 is 12. Okay. So, see here, then again, see here, take this modulus alone to the left hand side and bring this 3 to the right hand side. What happens? Modulus of x minus 2 is equal to 12 divided by 2, which is equal to 6. That is, modulus of x minus 2 is equal to 6. Remove the modulus, we don't know the value of x, whether it is greater than or equal to 0 or less than 0. Therefore, when removing, what happens to the right hand side? It becomes plus or minus. It takes any one of the value. Okay. Now, take this to this side, x will be equal to plus or minus 6 plus 2. That is 2 plus or minus 6. Okay. Therefore, x is equal to 6 plus 2 is 8 or minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4. So, x value will be 8 or minus 4. Okay, x value will be equal to 8 or minus 4. See here, sorry, this is 3 divided by 3. Okay, so this is 4. So, this is 4 plus or minus 4 plus or minus 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 is 6 or minus 4 plus 2 is minus 2. So, x takes the value of x takes the value 6 or minus 2. Now, example 2.3. What's the example 2.3? We have to solve for modulus of 2x minus 3 is equal to modulus of x minus 5. See here, in the above examples, we have only one modulus, right? But here we have a modulus on both sides. How can we solve this? See here, modulus of u is equal to modulus of me means this can be taken. See, u is equal to v or u is equal to minus v. can take any one of the values from this. Therefore, what happens? 2x minus 3 is equal to x minus 5, or 2x minus 3 is equal to 5 minus x. That is, minus of x minus 5 becomes 5 minus x. Okay. Now, shall we solve this? Bring this x this side, 2x minus x, it becomes x. Bring this minus 3 this side, minus 5 plus 3, that is minus 2. X is equal to minus 2 here. Okay, x is equal to minus 2 here, and here bring this x this side, 2x plus x. 2x plus x is 3x. 3x is equal to, bring this minus 3 this side, it becomes plus 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. Bring this 3 to the denominator, x will be equal to 8 divided by 3. So, the value of x is equal to minus 2, or x is equal to 8 divided by 3. Okay, next they have inequalities involving absolute values. So, till now we have seen the equalities, that is equal symbol. In the next we are going to see the inequalities involving. So, the main thing is you have to remember this, minus r less than x less than r. Okay. So, whatever may be the, if modulus of x less than r is given, means this can be written as minus r less than x less than r. This is what you have to remember, then you can solve this. Okay, this is what you have to remember. Now, let us see the example 2.4. Okay, example 2.4. Solve for modulus of x minus 9 less than 2. Okay, less than 2. What we have seen, if modulus of x is less than 2 means we can be written it as minus 2 less than x less than 2, right. This can be written as, remove this modulus and we can be written as minus 2 less than x minus 9 less than 2. Okay, now take this minus sign to both sides. Minus sign, when it goes here, it becomes plus 9. Therefore, 9 minus 2 less than, the remaining term here is x alone, less than 9 plus 2, which is equal to 9 minus 2 is 7 less than x less than 11. Okay, this is the answer. 7 less than x less than 11. This is the answer. Now, let us see the next example. Example 2.5. Okay, solve modulus of 2 divided by x minus 4, which is greater than 1. Okay, see here there are some properties, that is modulus of, okay, modulus of x plus y will be less than or equal to modulus of x plus modulus of y. Okay, and modulus of y plus x will be equal to modulus of x minus y. Then from this we can get xy will be equal to 0. These are the properties. Okay, some formulas like properties. You have to mark up this. Then modulus of x divided by y will be equal to modulus of x divided by modulus of y. Okay, and again modulus of xy will be equal to modulus of x into modulus of y. This can be divided like this. These are the some important properties that you have to know about inequalities. Okay, that is modulus of x plus y will be less than or equal to modulus of x plus modulus of y. This is the less than or equal to. Okay, then modulus of x plus y plus 6 is equal to modulus of x plus y, means we can get that xy is equal to 0. Modulus of x divided by y can be written as modulus of x divided by modulus of y. Modulus of xy will be equal to modulus of x into modulus of y. Okay, so using this identity, see here, this can be separated into modulus of 2 divided by modulus of x minus 4. Okay, modulus of 2 divided by modulus of x minus 4 greater than 0. So, modulus of 2 is 2. Okay, that is modulus of any real number is the real number. So, 2 alone. So, what happens here? See here, what happens? It becomes 2 divided by modulus of x minus 4. Okay, which is, this is greater than 1, means this can be written like this. right? 1 is less than this is therefore 1 is less than 2 divided by something. Okay, now bring this modulus this side and bring this 1 this side. What happens? Modulus of x minus 4 less than 2. Am I right? Bring this side and bring this 1 this side. What happens? Modulus of x minus 4 is less than 2. So remove the modulus. We already know modulus of x less than r means minus r less than x less than r. Using this we can change this to minus 2 less than x minus 4 less than 2. Now we can solve this easily. How? Bring this minus 4 this side and that side it becomes plus 4. Therefore 4 minus 2 is 2 here less than x less than 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay, but in your question they have given that x should not be equal to 4. There is a restriction that x should not be equal to 4. But here in this interval there is an element x. Therefore, how can we write this? X belongs to, see, this is not less than or equal to, it is just less than. Therefore, we are using the open interval 2, 4 union. Okay, 4, 6. What does that mean? The element from next to 2 and before 4 and here next to 4 and before 6. This is the required solution. Okay, now let us see the next exercise. Now let us solve that exercise 2.2. Exercise 2.2. Okay, solve for x. So in the first subdivision, modulus of 3 minus x less than 7. So this can be written as minus 7 less than, remove the modulus, 3 minus x is less than 7. See, this is plus 3, bring this to this side and this side, it becomes minus 3. Minus 7 minus 3 is minus 7 less than minus 10 less than minus x less than minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay, so on multiplying minus on all the side, what happens? Minus 4 less than, okay, what will be the answer is 10 greater than the greater than less than symbol changes to greater than symbol because we are multiplying by minus 1, x greater than minus 4. So what happens? Minus 4 is less than x less than 10. This is the answer. Now this again subdivision, modulus of 4x minus 5 greater than or equal to minus 2. So this can be written as, that is minus 2 less than or equal to this term. Minus 2 less than or equal to modulus of 4x minus 5. Right? Remove the modulus, what happens? Minus 2 less than or equal to 4x minus 5 less than or equal to 2. Now shall we solve this? So bring this minus for both sides, it is minus, when it goes on to the next two sides, what happens? It becomes plus 5. So 5 minus 2 is 3 less than or equal to 4x. So 5 plus 2 is 7. Bring this 4 on the both sides, it becomes the denominator for both sides. Therefore 3 divided by 4 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 7 divided by 4. Now the third subdivision. Modulus of 3 minus 3 divided by 4 into x, okay, less than or equal to 1 divided by 4. Okay, now shall we remove the modulus? What happens? Minus 1 divided by 4 less than or equal to 3 minus 3 divided by 4 into x. See here, if in the question if it is given as less than alone, we have to use less than alone here. In the question they have given less than or equal to, therefore you are using less than or equal to here too. Okay, less than or equal to 1 divided by 4. Okay, now see here, shall we take this 3 this side, this is plus, and it goes on to the both sides, it gets minus 3. So therefore minus 3 here, minus 3. Okay, minus 3 minus 4, take the LCM, 4 3 is 12, minus 12 minus 1, therefore here it is minus 13 divided by 4 less than or equal to minus 3 divided by 4 into x less than or equal to, here 2, the LCM is 4, 4 3 is 12, 1 minus 12 is minus 11 divided by 4. Okay, minus 11 divided by 4. Now bring this 3 divided by 4 on both sides, that is it becomes reciprocal and it should be multiplied. So 3 divided by 4 means 4 divided by 3 into 4 divided by 3. So what happens? What will be the answer? Minus 13 divided by 3 less than or equal to minus x less than or equal to minus 11 divided by 3. Now multiply minus 3 on all these sides. What happens? 13 divided by 3 is greater than or equal to x greater than or equal to 11 divided by 3. So rewrite it. While rewriting, what's the answer? 11 divided by 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 13 divided by 3. That is from 11 divided by 3 to 13 divided by 3. That's the answer. Okay. Now the fourth subdivision, modulus of x minus 10 less than minus 3. Okay, see here we have to keep modulus alone in this side. Bring this all the remaining terms inside. Here we have minus 10. Minus 10 when it goes to the next side it becomes plus 10. Therefore 10 minus 3 is 7. Modulus of x is less than 7. So remove the modulus, what happens? Minus 7 less than x less than 7. Since we have less than only in question, therefore we are using less than. So this is the answer. Very simple, right? Okay. Now the second question. What's the second question? Solve 1 divided by modulus of 2x minus 1 which is less than x, and we have to express the solution in the interval line. Okay. So what we can do? We can take this modulus to the next end and 6 to the this side. What happens? This happens 1 divided by 6 less than modulus of 2x minus 1. That is modulus of 2x minus 1 is greater than 1 by 6. Right? Greater than 1 by 6. Okay, remove this modulus. Remove this modulus. While removing, what happened? Minus 1 by 6 should be greater than 2x minus 1 greater than 1 divided by 6. Okay, bring this plus 1 this side. So this is minus 1 and it goes on plus 1. Therefore 1 minus 6, here it is plus 1. What happens? The LCM is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 divided by 6. Here the LCM is 6. 6 into 6, 6, 6 plus 1 is 7 divided by 6. Therefore, the number is 5 divided by 6 greater than 2x greater than 7 divided by 6. Okay? Okay? 5 divided by 6 greater than 2x greater than 7 divided. Now we can split this inequality. That is, first one is 2x is less than 5 divided by 6, and the next one is 2x is greater than 7 divided by 6. Okay, bring this to this side. What happens? X is less than 5 divided by 12, and here x is greater than 7 divided by 12. Okay, so x is less than 5 divided by 12 means what's the interval? X minus infinity divided by 5 divided by 2 union, it is union, right? Union. X is greater than 7 divided by 2 means 7 by 2 la irundhu infinity varaikum. Therefore x belongs to minus infinity comma 5 divided. What is x less than 5 divided by 2? Adukku keela irukka ella values in r. What is the r? Minus infinity to infinity is the r. So x keela irukana minus infinity to 5 divided by 12 union, and that interval 2. That inequality is x greater than 7 by 2. Greater than 7, 7 by 2 adukku mela ulla elements. Therefore open interval 7 by 12 comma infinity. This is the answer. Okay. Now the third sum. Solve for minus 3 into modulus of x plus 5 less than or equal to minus 2. So you have to find this in number solution. Okay. Now see here we have to keep only the modulus this side. So what happens? bring this plus 5 this side, it becomes minus 5. Therefore, minus 3 into modulus of x less than or equal to minus 7. Okay, minus 7. And bring this minus 3 this side, what happens? Here becomes minus 3. Okay, therefore modulus of x is less than or equal to 7 divided by 3. So take the modulus, what happens? Minus 7 divided by 3. Okay, is this correct? See here, what we are taking is, we are taking minus this side. Therefore, it becomes greater than or equal to. Okay, it becomes greater than or equal to. So say, take the modulus minus 7 divided by 3 x, sorry, greater than or equal to x greater than or equal to 7 divided by 3. Changing, split the inequality, x is less than or equal to minus 7 divided by 3 union x is greater than or equal to 7 divided by 3. As the previous sum, we have to use this in number line. X belongs to, x is less than or equal to minus 7 divided by 3. See here, here it is less than, therefore we have used the open interval. Here it is less than or equal to, therefore we have to use closed interval, that is from minus infinity. For infinity we have to use only open interval. Open interval of minus infinity comma minus 7 by 3 is the closed one. Union here to greater than or equal to 7 divided by 3. Therefore, closed open interval of 7 by 3 comma infinity. Why we are using open interval here? Because for infinity we will be using open interval. Now, this is the answer for the third question. Now, the fourth question. So, the fourth one is the assignment for you. Solve for 2 into modulus of x plus 1 minus x less than or equal to. So, what you have to do? You have to bring this minus 6 this side, it becomes plus 6, it is 13. Therefore, bring this 13 divided by 2. Modulus of x plus 1 is less than or equal to 13 divided by 2 and take the modulus, you will be getting the answer. This is the assignment for you. Okay. And the fifth sum. What's the fifth sum? Fifth sum is solve for 1 divided by 5 modulus of 10x minus 2 is less than 1. Okay. So, we have to keep only the modulus here. Bring this 1 divided by 5 this side, it becomes multiplicated. That is modulus of 10x minus 2 is less than 5. So, take the modulus, remove the modulus, it becomes minus 5 less than 10x minus 2 less than 5. So, bring this minus 2 on both sides, it becomes plus 2. Minus 5 plus 2 is minus 3 less than 10x less than 7. Okay, bring this 10 on both sides, minus 3 divided by 10 less than x less than 7 divided by 10. Okay, this is the answer. Now, the last sum, sixth sum. Solve for modulus of 5x minus 12 less than minus 2. Okay, solve for this. See, we don't have any numbers or elements outside the modulus. Therefore, we can remove the modulus directly. If we remove, what happens? It becomes 2 less than 5x minus 12 less than minus 2. Is this possible? See, what's the thing is, the first interval, the common interval is minus r should be less than x less than r. If we split, we get this like. Therefore, it has no solution. Therefore, this has no solution. Okay, because if we split this, if we remove the modulus, we are arriving at the inequality like this, which is contradiction to the common inequality minus r less than x less than r. Therefore, it has no solution. Okay. So, in this video, I have given two sums, that is in exercise 2.1 one sum and exercise 2.2 the fourth sum is the assignment for you. Complete the assignment and send it to me through the Zoho app. With this, we are completing this video. We can see the next subdivision 2.4 linear inequalities in the next class. Okay. Thank you, students.